The City Council for the City of Brookshire, Texas will hold a regular session City Council meeting on June 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in City Hall to consider the following. Can we have prayer, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we'd just like to thank you once again, Father God, for allowing us the opportunity to be here on tonight, Father, and we ask that you crown us with knowledge and wisdom. And we ask that with that knowledge and wisdom, Father God, that you make it to the best decisions that we could possibly make on tonight, Father God, and we ask that those decisions be pleasing upon you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Richards,
Present.
Alderwoman Taylor,
Here.
Alderman Stamps,
Present.
Alderwoman McDade,
Present.
Alderman Green.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comments. Per Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551007, the City Council may not discuss or take action on any items not listed on the agenda. Each member of the public wishing to speak must sign in before the meeting, which is limited to 3 minutes. And first we have Ms. Nelly Hernandez.
Hi, good evening.
Evening.
My concern is on property 3126 First Street. On October 17th, 2024, I was granted permission by the council here to move my container home onto my property. I have gotten approvals from Bureau Veritas, the Water District, and everybody. The only one that's pending is LJA. It's been more than a year now, almost a year. I have submitted all my documentation, and I am just wanting to know where it is that I'm where I stand with my permits. That's why I'm here.
What's the address again?
It's 3126 First Street.
I remember. It coming.
So it's just LJA that's pending.
Thank you.
I have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Elliot Brunner.
Good evening, council. I am actually on an agenda item, item 14, so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, which is 7:04, we would like to have a public hearing. The public hearing on the proposed designation of reinvestment zone within the city of Brookshire for the purpose of commercial industrial tax abatement under Chapter 312 of Texas Tax Code. And the time is 7:05.
Mayor, would you like me to say something?
Yes.
So for the benefit of council and the audience, what we're doing here is a required statutory public hearing to create this reinvestment zone, which is step one, as y'all are well aware, in establishing the Grunfos tax abatement agreement. So this zone will allow us then to provide, or at least the opportunity to provide tax abatements for applicants that have property within the zone.
If there's no comments on that, Move on to item number 7. Discussion and possible action on ordinance number 25-735-16, designating a reinvestment zone for commercial industrial tax abatement named City of Brookshire, Texas Reinvestment Zone Number 3.
This is a housekeeping matter, just the state has changed how we name these things. This actually came up in the EDC meeting. This will be the 3rd reinvestment zone in the city of Brookshire. There are 2 others. This just made sense to name it that, but we need your blessing before we can do it.
Can I get a motion on that?
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 25-735-16.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, item number 8. Consider and take action on consent agenda items listed under the consent agenda as considered routine and are generally enacted in one motion. The exception to this rule occurs when a council member requests one or more items removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. Item A, minutes of the special city council meeting on May 14, 2025. Item B, minutes of the special council meeting on May 22nd, 2025. Can I get discussion or either motion?
I make a motion that we approve city council meeting minutes for May 14th, 2025, also for May 22nd, 2025, with corrections if any.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Either or, me and Green.
Motion passed. Okay, consulting reports. Assessment of Southwest Tax Report 2025. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All righty. I know in your package you have April and May reports. We looked at the April report last meeting, but I'm happy to go over anything in there if you'd like. In the May report, we had a beginning balance of $318,455.05. There was a total amount of collections received of $69,661.36. We dispersed a total of $232,523.28, leaving you a balance of $155,593.13. Looking to page 2, in the upper right-hand side of that page, you'll see the taxable value as of the latest supplement from Waller CAD. Also on this page, you'll see listed your current and prior year tax rates. On page 3, at the bottom of that page, you're going to see the percentage of collections as of May 31st was at 94.43%. And then to page 4, there's 1 wire and 4 checks for your review and approval this evening, totaling $79,330.12, leaving you a cash balance in your tax account of $76,263.01. I do have a delinquent roll if anyone wants to review it. Or I can send it in electronic form if you'd like. And that's all I've got for you unless you have questions.
The wire and transfer, can you explain that again, please?
That goes to your bookkeeper, so that goes into to the city's account.
That's what I thought.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Currently, it's in the Wells Fargo account, your Wells Fargo account?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, no, it's maybe in transition, usually about the 10th, the wires go out. So this one's to be wired after you've approved it.
Okay. New first. Yeah, well, currently it's in the Wells Fargo. It'll be wired to New First. Right. Right.
I'm not sure. I can look at that for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any further discussion, any questions? Anyone?
No questions at this time.
For me,
Okay. Thank y'all.
thank you.
All right. Safe Build Code Enforcement Report.
Is it the correct? 38.
How's it?
Right here, right?
Yes.
3803 from the second.
Any discussion on that report?
He emailed me, so. But it's just a correction on the house.
She's speaking of the second to last one. The correct address should be 3803 Stella Road.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Clear.
Okay. Grant Works reports on grant funded. So we have the ARPA report here. Should be in a memo. Do we have anyone from LJA here? Good evening.
All right, engineering report. We don't have anything odd or going on with the permits. Most of them were waiting on applicants' responses. I think we got a new one the last week.
We're speaking about ARPA right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shoot.
I apologize. GrantWorks, they have the bid packet. We're finalizing some of the contracts, and we're waiting on their review. And once they review it and send us comments back, we will bring it to y'all to review.
That's not what we hear. Yeah.
Derek said, he gave me all these, so you send documents to him already for bid?
I haven't sent him for bid, it's just for review. He's reviewing the bid items and the road items that we're bidding out. So he's reviewing the bid items and the contracts. That's what I've sent over to him.
Today, or when?
No, I sent him last week.
I wasn't CC'd on that, that one, but I'll
Oh,
speak
okay.
to him. Aware of that.
Well, it's for just GrantWorks review, so I guess I just sent it to Derek because he asked for it, so.
Yeah, but the city would need to be included on.
Yeah, he said he wants to review it first, and then he'll bring it for y'all to review. Like GrantWorks reviews it first, then the city reviews it. GrantWorks basically wants to make sure that we've included all their provisions and their rules and their language in the contracts. Okay.
All communication. So therefore, we have both of y'all are vendors and consultants, and so someone from the city needs to be able to deliver that information.
Okay.
Decisions can't be made without a person from the city.
So you all have prepared the bid packet. You've sent it over to GrantWorks.
Correct.
Okay, and what is the next step?
Once the contracts are approved by all parties, then we go out for bids.
Okay. Okay, because I would like to see this project moved along quickly. I mean, it's been going on too long right now. So please continue to monitor and work on this project right here. We noticed that your permit processing have gotten better. So we appreciate that. And I think we did have a meeting with your company, was it last week? And things are improving now, and we hope that that continues. Okay. So next,
Is the engineering report next, or?
yes, engineering report.
Okay. So permits, like I said, I think we've gotten a new one in the last week or so. Most of them are waiting for approval. Next one, we talked about the ARPA. Craig also mentioned that you wanted to look into adding the Gassner ditch or the Stella ditch. Is that something you still wanted to discuss, or is that something we want to talk about later?
Is that mid-March? Mid-March.
So the Stella ditch is in Mid-Mod, the CDBG grant,
Yeah, I know
yes,
that.
but the Gassner ditch is not. So that's something that would have to be added on to the projects.
Are you talking about,
I remember talking about the gas in the ditch.
Okay.
No,
Just Stella, right?
just Stella.
So Stella is in
Yeah.
the CDBG,
Yeah.
the stuff that's being designed by Blisle, so
Yeah.
that one will be taken care of
I
by
know
them.
about mid-March and Stella, and I think Starnick is gonna be removed as it pertains to mid-March.
Gotcha.
But that was not talked about with Craig for the gas in the ditch. What about the outfalls project, Mr. Olson? The outfalls project in Lakeside, is it Lakeside? Yeah, right. Do we have an update on that?
Other than we have an understanding that, no, we don't, because we're gonna have to do a title report. I think the only way, we're gonna have to get a land permit. surveyor, somebody that can, that's the only way. So if you want to authorize us to get some proposals,
I thought we did that already, so,
This meeting.
yes.
I can't remember if we did that formally or not, yet or not.
So we're authorizing you now to do it, yeah.
So what do you want me to do or us to do, or is that something?
We
I
want
don't
you,
know
we
anybody
want,
out there, but I can figure some people out. Y'all may know some surveyors or
We can do
something.
title reports on the survey, yeah.
Okay.
so we determine who the land actually belongs to, right?
Yes.
That's what we're doing here
That's,
now.
when I say land person, I'm really just talking about a surveyor.
Right, right. Okay,
So it will be a title report on the survey, right?
Yes.
You will be taking
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
I will send an email also stating that information.
I don't think we ever got any, did we ever get any word back from the drainage district? No, I mean, that, to me, that's our next step. Not getting any cooperation.
we could, go ahead, you could do that.
Okay. Not sure if this is the appropriate time, but
It
just
is.
concerned about the young lady that came up and asked about her container that she moved to that property, and she said she was waiting on you guys. Well, what is the holdup with her?
I'd have to go back and look at comments, but
This is the time to have that conversation.
I'd have to go back and look at comments. I don't have them with me, but we sent comments back on 4/23/2025, so there's still some.
It's been
something
almost
that
a
has not been
year.
approved. I understand, I get it. What you gotta understand is a lot of times we get these plans back without them addressing any of the comments. Like, a lot of these people do not think that they need to address the comments, and like, those are the responses we
We-
get back, so.
No,
Like-
we are experiencing with your company, and I'm not getting on you, I'm saying your company, that a lot of the emails and correspondence that we have with your company go into this email box. And so when we try to work it out, we're being told, oh, it got lost in the email box. Okay? And so some of this reason for her delay is that. And so, but we've addressed that in our meeting that we had with your company. So again, I'm not getting on you. I'm just letting you know that that's one of the issues. Yeah.
Did you have some, Ms. B?
Yes, so actually, she did, I did email you the plan with the stamp for the engineer. I emailed it to you about, 3:42, so that, I think that's the only thing I'm waiting for is her original stamp from the engineer. So I did send that to you, I forwarded that to you as well. And I do have the copy if you need this one.
Just recently?
At 3:42.
Oh, today, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have anything else?
None unless y'all have any other questions on the engineering report.
I think we, any other discussion? All right, thank you. Okay. Lineberger, Gregan, Blair, Sampson, LLP, Delinquent Collections.
We gotta do something about those
Good evening.
names. Confusing me for a long time. Mayor, Alderwoman, my name is Damon Edwards, and I'm with Lineberger, Geigen, Blair, and Sampson. We are delinquent tax attorneys. We've been doing that work for the city for quite a while. In this county, we also been, represent the city of Prairie View. That's work with Ms. Conover for up there, along with other people, I guess, who are with the city now. I didn't have a formal report tonight. Just to let you know, so we do two types of collection for you. We have the delinquent taxes, but also we do your fees and fines collections also. So I'm the attorney for the tax, and we have another attorney who does the fees and fines. He's not here tonight. Typically for the tax, we typically come and give a report usually in July. July 1st is when we get turnover. That's the date under state law when lawsuits can be filed against delinquent taxpayers. So usually we get your turnover on July 1st. We go over that, we'll make reports, and of course we come up with our plan on what we plan to do for collections for that tax collection year. And so I like to come back sometime in July or so and give you guys a more formal report on that. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is that we have several employees who come out. So Maria Munoz. I'm sorry. Maria comes out here as much as possible, as much as needed. So typically that's at least once a week, sometimes even more, or once every couple of weeks, whenever it's on her schedule. Like I say, we have other clients inside of Waller County, so she's here for that. Now, next I'm gonna let Camelia Battle speak. She works on our fees and fines collections, and so she's gonna talk about what's going on with the fees and fines. There you go, that's fine.
I'm Camelia. I'm not an attorney. I'm the liaison for the Fees and Fines Department. I remember Ms. Connor from Prairie View. So I come out every 45 to 60 days. I meet with Ms. Sherry and her team. I normally check in with them. I see them at conferences. I do provide them a monthly report that I'm happy to include any one of you in, but she gets it electronically every month. And then, like I said, every 45 to 60 days, I come out and check on them, and I deliver them a tangible copy of that report. But tonight I do have a couple stats, just year to date, just historical stats for you. But I'm happy to share their report. It just went out 2 weeks ago. I was just out here Friday, but I'd already sent her the report. So if it's in, I can get with you, Ms. Connor, to see if there's anyone else that we want to include. But just to give you a brief synopsis, if you don't mind. So year to date, we've had the account since 2005. We started receiving placements back in 2006 initially. I was not aboard. I came aboard in 21. But just historical data, we've received roughly about 12,800 citations from the city of Brookshire. We've done about 13,000 address updates through our skip tracing efforts. So when we get citations, no matter how old they are, we will continue to work on them until those payments come in to the city. So we're constantly searching to make sure we have good data. We've contacted a little under 90,000 people via phone through our letter outreach and campaigns. And then year to date, we've resolved a little over $1 million in terms of collectible fees and fines for the municipal court.
And, they say, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Connie, yes.
So, Mr. Damien, I guess, one of my concerns is that we're gonna need someone to collect, our trash collection bills. They're about to all go into delinquents, and we're gonna need someone to start collecting them, because currently we turn that back over to the water district to collect the payments.
Okay.
So it's gonna, we have a printout of actually who's delinquent and stuff, and I would like to send that over to you so you can give us your scope of work and how much it would cost to
You
get
can
it
send
done.
it to me and
Yeah.
Richard Hill.
Yeah,
Or
so,
my side of
yeah,
the
that's
coin.
definitely, yeah, that's definitely that side of it. I'll tell you what, so our business, we're a nationwide law firm, and our business is government receivables. So it's not just taxes, not even just fees and fines, it's toll roads, it's different things. And so obviously we have to analyze what your delinquency looks like. And like I say, right now, we're not in a contract to do that, but we'd like to look at it and see that. Obviously, we'd love to help that problem. And every year, our firm, believe it or not, collects over $1 billion for our clients that goes to them, all right? And that goes from large entities like Chicago and Houston and LA, on down to the small ones like Willis, Texas, was one of my clients I used to go out to and see. So we always want to look at whatever is owed, because that's our motto. If you're a public entity and you're owed money, we would like to work with you to try and get that collected as best way possible. So we'll look at that and see if we can come up with a plan to get that collected.
I'll send you an email and include Richard. So he will be your, Richard will be your.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Camille.
All right. So we do appreciate you for letting us come out tonight. Like I said, we want to work with you guys, whatever, we represented you for a long time. I know you had an in-house tax assessor, you have an outside tax collector. Of course, there's a new county tax collector. We have experience working with everybody. So we want to meet your needs, whatever you need. Please let us know. Once again, Damon Edwards, if you need anything from me, let me know. I look forward to seeing you guys at TML too, every year. You guys are one of my favorite groups. I know it changes, but I love seeing you guys. So if you need anything else, please let us know and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Brookshire Police Department report.
Evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
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 For the month of April, Police Department responded to 845 calls for service. During the month, the busiest day of the week was Thursday, accounting for about 153 calls for service. On average and throughout the month, during a 24-hour period on any given day, the busiest time of day was between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. Our average dispatch time for all calls for service, excluding traffic stops, was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. We made 349 traffic contacts and responded to 18 traffic accidents, conducted 38 house watch and/or vacation checks. We spent almost $19,000 in overtime. We made 8 arrests, totaling 8 charges, and you'll see those arrests there. 44 offense and/or incident reports were taken during the month, and I listed those reports that, again, are of interest to me and some of the quality of life issues. As far as the PD goes and what we have going on, we finally finished the ceiling above the evidence room, have that secured now. So we've got a plan to move our evidence into the evidence room and then start on some of the other property that we have that dates way back on getting destruction orders and just get that out of the PD. And those will be items where maybe they were safekeeping, statute of limitations expired, the case will never be prosecuted. So we've had thousands of pieces that we're gonna have to weed through, and it's gonna take some time, but.
What do y'all usually do with those pieces that's expired, the evidence?
Well, in our case, because some of it's so old, depending on the type of case that it's tied to, and the majority of those are gonna be past the statute of limitations. In other words, you can't prosecute it
Right.
anymore. We have to present that to a judge, and they'll have to give us orders to destroy it.
Okay.
And whether that means shredding, throwing away, taking to an incinerator, so there'll be a number of ways to do that. We had ordered 2 large foam, weatherproof foam signs from TDC, had those made. We put them on there. This report's a little bit old, but we finally got those, and they're fixed to the front of our building. They look pretty good. One depicts the badge, and the other one is the patch. So it's nice, professional, gives the front of the building a little bit of color. The things are about this big, but when you put them on the front of the building, they look much smaller. But nonetheless, you can tell we're a police department now. We interviewed 3 candidates, 2 internal and 1 external, for open lieutenant position. We selected an internal candidate who is currently a detective, and he won't get promoted until we fill his spot. We conducted a monthly supervisor meeting on the 23rd. Additionally, we had an informal meet and greet with 4 potential police officer applicants. 2 of the applicants we asked to provide personal history statements so that we could send them the backgrounds. One of them we just rejected this week, and another one, she looks like a really good, understand I said she looks like a really good candidate to be considered either for a detective and or a patrol officer. So she's in the middle of some personal things right now, but we'll probably get started on her background probably next week. And that investigator position that we have open, we have an applicant, she's in backgrounds, and again, I said she. I'm excited because potentially we could be finally hiring a couple of females.
Good, that's
And,
good.
yeah. And so I'll be proud of that moment, since we haven't been able to find some good candidates. But these 2, I think, are going to work out. Pretty much that's all I have for you.
So, one thing I'd like to add, we did meet this week, right?
Yes,
Was it
sir.
This week, to talk about the hiring process. And I think we agreed that we will go out now and advertise for, broaden our scope and advertise in different places for officers. And I think LinkedIn, Workforce, LULAC, Indeed, several other, because before I think we were just doing like word of mouth in Academy. So if we broaden our scope, I think we should be okay. And we're also reviewing the officers' salary ranges to make sure that we are good and competitive with some of the cities of our size.
Appreciate
Cities
that.
and counties of our size. So if we do that, I think we should be good in getting some more applicants in. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is there any more discussion here?
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Municipal courts.
How are y'all doing?
Good evening.
Okay, so my report for April, the cases imported from the police department were 93 cases. We completed 70 cases total that were closed out. Total revenue collected was $9,428. The number of people on the docket for the month of April were 79, and the show cause hearing was 28. Dismissals, the judge asked me to kind of break down the dismissals, because if you see in your fund view report, it just shows a total number of dismissals. So the judge asked me to break those down for y'all. So compliance dismissals, where they were able to fix their registration, license, insurance, we had a total of 24 of those. Dismissed by prosecution was 4, dismissed other plea bargain 1, dismissed completion of deferred disposition and defensive driving course, that was 5. Total warrants issued was 63, reported to Omni 47, and the collections 47. And if you go to your next page, what I do is kind of like a total from this month to the previous month. So if you look on there, the total collections for the month of April 2025 were $9,428. It was a decrease of $1,103 over the previous month of March. The combination of dockets totaled 117 cases for the month of April, a decrease from March of 1 case. And there were 93 file violations in the month of April, an increase of 9 violations from the month of March.
Thank you. All right. Public Works report, I will do that one. So for Public Works, the department has been working on the old fire station to get it all back up and operational again, cleaning it out on the inside, painting on the inside. We're planning on also getting some computer access back there again, and also get, as you'll see in the council meeting, a backup generator for that location. Right now, our plan is to use it for a sort of like a disaster recovery center, in case we have a disaster, a storm or something like that. Also, Public Works are continuing to keep the grass cut down, nice and neat and clean. We've instructed them also to cut grass up by the freeway on both of the exit and entrance ramps on both sides, and also on 359 to make sure all that's neat and clean. And when people come to Brookshire and turn their corner, we want it to be nice and neat and clean up there, and cut and stay clean with the trash and everything picked up. So they're working on that. And they're also working on the Annex building next door. They've cleaned out the entire old Annex building over there, and we're gonna, as you'll see on our city council meeting, we're gonna recommend some remodeling in there and get everything back up to where it needs to be. So they've been busy. Is there any discussion on the Public Works report?
No, sir.
All right, City Secretary report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. On the Human Resources side, I have no new hires, no pre-employment drug screening was done. 1 employee resigned, 1 employee returned from medical leave. Documents that were signed and executed were the letter of intent for Grumfus, that was on 5/2/2025. The resolution 1499, resolution 1500, and resolution 1501 were all signed and executed by the mayor and myself. Council approved those items and they were signed and executed. I had a couple of meetings. The mayor, we've been pretty much having a lot of meetings with the different entities. We're trying to keep everyone involved. So we've had several meetings with Brown Track that included the Municipal Water District as well as the Brookshire Katy Drainage. We had a meeting with the Red Cross Disaster Relief. We've had several meetings with Ms. Olivia Olson, who is now our animal control for the city of Brookshire. And for the citizens can know that if you do have a issue with an animal, you can call the office from 8:30 to 4:30 or the police department, and it is a process that's been put in place to help you with those animals. We've had meetings with Brookshire Municipal Water District again in reference to a few other items. The mayor, myself, Ms. Pierre, Ms. Lyons, and Ms. Green in reference to the transitioning of the water. The water bill has changed, as well as the trash. As of now, because it's a May and June, people are thinking they're receiving two bills. So if someone calls you, please help with explaining to them that the bill they're receiving from the city is for May. The bill they're receiving from the water district is for June. And as stated earlier, Mr. Damien firm will start the collection on all the past due delinquent accounts once I get that executed and signed and approved through the council. But so if the city still holds the trash contract, we want to make that known to the citizens. The city holds the contract. So if a citizen has a complaint about their trash, everything still comes through the city. The water district is only collecting the bill. And right now, the water district is collecting from June forward. And anybody that wants to pay from May back, they're able to come in right now until it goes into a collection. They can come into City Hall and pay that bill, okay?
Okay.
We had a meeting, the mayor and myself had a meeting with LJA Engineering and Bureau Veritas with permits with Ms. Beatrice as well as Dr. Batista from EDC in reference to getting a clear understanding, making sure we all stay in the same know of what's going on with these construction sites, what's going on with the companies coming in, infrastructure and so forth. We did have a meeting with tax collections with Ms. Carolyn Midkey. She is supposed to be getting back with me in reference to sending us a contract to review to see if that's something that we would like to agree and move forward with. But it should be this week, no later than tomorrow. If not, I'll call her on Monday to see if we can at least get something that council can review and approve or disapprove. Every Tuesday, we have a reoccurring meeting with Baker Telly, who is helping with these audits and get them up to date. Ms. Lyons will give you more insight on that. Update on some items that's been requested by the council. As of now, we have no update on the investigation for the bid processing for the Venus construction. No update on the investigations for the cameras in City Hall chambers. A check has been processed and sent over to Centerpoint to install the lights that surrounds 4th Street Velasco over there near the hangar. The lighting that y'all have been concerned about for years. So the process has been completed. Now we're just waiting on them. Ms. Beatrice spoke with them today. They said it's a 2 month. They've received the check. They have the check. It's just now we have to get in line for them to come out and install it, okay? So that's one thing. Things the councils need to do. We need to pass an ordinance for 2024-2025 approved budget. Okay? So that's gonna be on the next agenda. Okay. City Hall has a meeting, admin has a meeting every Tuesday morning at 8:05. Council, mayor, you are more than welcome to come. Just make sure that it's not a quorum when you wish to come and attend. So just let us know if you would like to attend our meeting. Quite a few of us attended the Texas Emergency Management Training this past week. It was very informative. Everybody was pretty much ecstatic, and it was a lot for us to retain, but it was very helpful with hurricane season being here. It's already here. So we've started the process. A lot of things that you think that we may be behind on, we're actually ahead and already in preparations to move forward. So that's it for my report. Is there any other questions?
Good report.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Corner.
You're welcome, sir.
Financial report, Ms. Lyons. And that will be bills paid, credit cards, revenue and expense.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Okay, so for the AP side of the financials, we sent out a total of 131 bills. That's how much we paid. For the month of April, we received around $600,000 in income, and our expenses were around $700,000. So I'm sure you're understanding. We spent a little bit more this month than we provided our income for. And then for the credit card statement was around $13,000, and that was paid. Everything was paid up, and we have about 4 credit cards currently on file. If there's any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving right along. New business. Item number 9, discussion of possible action on the city's compensation comp time policy. And so, Ms. McDade,
Okay. Do you actually have the policy over there?
Everyone should have
Yes.
a policy inside of it.
Yep.
You do?
you need it?
Yes.
Page 15.
Page 15. Page 15.
So really, I just
So
had
the
a few
comp time
questions about.
policy is in the personnel policy, page 15. Back this way. Good time.
See 15.
She have it, she have it.
Okay. Okay, so really, I just wanted to question a few things about comp time kind of versus overtime. I guess this would be directed to you or Miss Glover. So for comp time compensation, so regular city employees, do they earn comp time or overtime when they work over or stay over?
At this moment, everyone is receiving overtime
So it's,
until if there is such thing as salary,
mhm.
and they're exempt, non-exempt, it depends on what bracket they fall in.
Okay. So how do they earn comp time?
You earn comp time once you've completed your 40 hours that week, per week. You have to, and it has to be approved by your department head.
Okay. Now versus vacation time, how many hours per month do the employees earn? Hope I didn't catch you off guard.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So basically, for the council and for discussion here. So we have a policy that the city has, and a personnel policy that specifies the rules and guidelines for comp time, overtime, vacation, sick time, right? And so this is being brought up and discussed because we found doing some looking through paperwork that because there were no overtime budget in certain areas, that there was no way to pay the overtime. So comp time should be no more than 40 hours max. But when people would work overtime, employees would work overtime, because there was no overtime budget, it would go into a comp time bank in some instances.
So I was trying to
And
get-
also, so there was 3 categories: comp time bank, comp time is overtime, comp time is time off. When the policy states that you have to have and only can keep a maximum of 40 hours comp time. And so that has been corrected with allowing an overtime budget. And so we want to make sure that everyone understands that We have instructed all of our staff and admin staff and everyone that comp time is only can be get a maximum, according to this policy, of 40 hours occurred, and that's it. We don't want to not adhere to what is written in this policy. In case we get audited, we're gonna have problems. And that's where we're at right now. For the employees that have already exceeded the 40 hours comp time, then we'll slowly let them work that down, okay? But in the past, it has been allowed, again, that they could exceed the 40 hours. In some instances, because of non-overtime budget. In some instances, it's because they just allowed them to do it. The other problem is that some comp time was allowed to be, it was just cashed out. It was cashed out and paid. So again, you know, previous administration or whoever it was allowed different things to happen. We want to make sure that we adhere to the policy that's written here for the city of Brookshire. And that's basically what Ms. McDade is trying to had her concerns here, right? Is that correct?
Yes, and I also see here that department heads are not eligible for overtime pay or comp time. But-
Right. So
but maybe-
there's different categories of employees. You have exempt, non-exempt, okay, and you have exempt, non-exempt, and contract. 3 different types, and sometimes PSA. For contract employees, they have to adhere with what is ever in their contract.
Correct.
Okay, and if it says that they're not allowed comp time, they can't get comp time. Okay, regardless of what was done in the past.
However, department heads may be allowed to take time
Maybe
off or pay from time to time with the distinction from the mayor. And if you do work overtime, if the mayor, or if it's an emergency or disaster, it can be approved to move
Right.
forward.
right. Exempt employees.
Deal with, like she said, emergency, when we
Right.
have a declared disaster or something, we keep people on 24/7.
Right.
It's unusual, it's not normal course of business, so we typically compensate them for that time.
Absolutely. And so, and we have talked to all of our employees and making that known and understood that we have to adhere to this policy. That's the main objective of this today.
That's it.
Okay? Item number 10, discussion and possible action to give an update on City of Brookshire bank accounts. Ms. Lyons.
Hello again. Okay, so I'm going to read a memo about my findings that were found May 13th when it comes to the movement back in 2023 from Wells Fargo to New First and what I've discovered. Okay, so now that we have full access to Wells Fargo account, the city can see that funds from 13 accounts were transferred to the general fund within Wells Fargo in January 2024, totaling $1.5 million. Even though $4.7 million was sent to New First, not everything was sent. $200,000 remained in the GL at Wells Fargo, and $871,000 was used to pay the city's bills and never allocated to the correct tax account to New First. Bulk of these payments included IRS, Petra LLC for grants, Texas Health Pool, Venus Construction, and Southern Software for PD. The city operated under 2 different banks, and it is my opinion that tracking down and allocating funds would be easier if the city operated under one bank. It is my recommendation that the funds stay put until council decides when to move the funds. Once that decision is made, then the money will be allocated as it was intended.
And so, basically, the city was operating out of 2 bank accounts, Wells Fargo and New First. And when the decision was made to go to New First, the money was moved, but not all of it. And we ended up with around $200,000. How much left in Wells Fargo?
200,000, sir.
Okay, and so, to the best of our ability, we're not forensic banking auditors, but to the best of our ability, we have accounted for, most of all that we can see of the money that, we thought that had issues. So that's good news. It was just bad accounting is what it was. And so, why were we operating under 2 bank accounts? I have no idea, but, appears that everything is working out. There's another issue, New First, we have those money market accounts that's still there. And so we have to make some decision at some point, if we are going to go with New First or Wells Fargo. We're in the middle of an audit, so we are working under their advice, and I think that their advice is not to close anything as right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because New First has been a little uncooperative with us. The tariffs have went down. No one has called us. Our money market money's over there just turning. We know that our account, our balance in our bank account is good, so we know we're not losing any money. But we'll be just reaching out and making some decisions on what we'll do with the bank situation after the audits are completed.
And it's also important to note that currently, to this day, we have $100,000 in Wells Fargo.
Right. There's
We do have access to that account.
$100,000 still in Wells Fargo right now.
I'm just going to sit right here.
You're next, okay. Item number 11. Discussion of possible actions giving an update on the fiscal year 2022, 2023, and 2024 city audits.
Okay, so I have another memo here that I'll read. Findings as of June 2nd, 2025. I have scanned and uploaded the remaining bank reconciliations and bank statement for August 2022 and September 2022 from Wells Fargo. The only account that could not find any information was a water grant system, which the auditors were fine with because they see that we didn't operate out of that, so they were okay with that. After reviewing the data provided by Mr. Chambers, I discovered that the outstanding items required for the fiscal year 2022 audit services have not been concluded due to the previous administration no longer retaining Mr. Chambers for his services. These items include accounts receivable, allowance for doubtful, due from, due to accounts, garbage fees, revenues, subsequent receipts, capital asset roll forwards, accumulated depreciation roll forward, capital assets addition, capital assets disposals, AP aging, and due to aging accounts. Deferred revenues, compensated absences. These are standard bookkeeping records that's associated with the city's financial records that are normally completed around year end. And so I researched to see if I could use Mr. Chambers' worksheet as a guidance from the successful audit of 2021. But then I realized I would need access to Encode in order to gather the data for the reports to recreate these reports. Once the city changed the accounting system to fund views, Tyler Technology cannot add new users to view any historical data. I reached out to Tyler Technologies about retrieving any historical data, and we're working on getting that data extract for the years in question. Once I receive this data, I can then recreate these worksheets for fiscal year 2022 audit. I also reached out to Eddie Peacock for anything that maybe they can provide for the audit, since that they were working with the previous administration, and they advised that they were not working on the audit for 2022 and needed to start reconciling 2023. I'm working with them to understand what roadblocks are stopping them from completing the bank reconciliations for 2023 to 2025. Eddie Peacock advised Encode data, but I advised them that the bank statement transactions are enough to at least start these reconciliations. And so basically our reconciliations haven't been done since Mr. Chambers left the city.
And again, to explain that a little bit further, in 2022 is where all of this problem began. When a decision was made to go away from Encode, in which a lot of the municipalities use that program, decisions were made to go away from that company. screwed up the auditing data. We hired a company called FundView. We also had to hire another company called Peacock to do our banking reconciliation. And there was a third one, right? We, Time Card Plus.
Oh, Time
right.
Clock Plus is the part.
So, and we ended up losing our data and our licensing for Encode. The gentleman that was doing our auditing for us, Mr. Chambers, we didn't want to pay him, and we finally paid him, and so he stopped working with us. And then we got, our audits came up, and now we had a system with all the old data in it, which was Encode, a new system, FundView, Peacock for bank reconciliation, Peacock, very uncooperative, don't want to work with us right now, hard to get data from them. And David, we might need your help with this, because we found out that when we looked at what they were supposed to be doing for us in the past, seems that they were getting paid and not doing the work, okay? So now we have to figure out how to do our banking reconciliations to provide all this data that the auditors need right now, okay? And we have to end up paying to get the data from Encode so that we can get the audits completed. And that's what we're dealing with. It's very difficult right now. And Ms. Lyons has done an excellent job. Her and Ms. Corner have done an excellent job in trying in that effort right now. So that's kind of where we're at with the audits. It also affects our grant, reconciling our grant money as well. It's being held up until the audits are done. The grant money is being held up, payments. Is that it?
Further
Any discussion on that?
questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 12. Discussion possible action to appoint the mayor pro tem for the term of 1 year. Discussion.
Don't everyone speak up. Don't everyone speak up first.
Everybody looking at each other.
Everybody just dead silent, like.
Nobody wants to. I'll make a motion that we appoint Eric Green as mayor pro tem.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Congratulations, Mr. Green.
You have to accept.
You accept? Oh. Okay. All right, congratulations, Mr. Green. Okay. Item number 13, discussion possible action to appoint new EDC nominations.
I make a motion that we'll approve Mr. Michael Kozar and Ms. Denise Odie for nominations for economic development.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Then we moving along.
Along. Somebody told me I need to be out by 9. 9:30. Okay.
Keep rolling.
Discussion possible action to provide consent to issue bond for road facilities within defined area number 1 of the Brookshire Municipal Water District.
I'll start and then. Basically, I think the water district wants to expand their territory, and in order to do that, they need the consensus within our corporate limits. But I'll let, council for the district speak. Mayor Richards, council.
Good evening.
I'm Elliot Barter, general counsel for the Brookshire Municipal Water District. And so, the district had submitted an application to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, for the authority to issue bonds for the design and construction of roads within what is known as defined area number 1. The developers of defined area number 1, Terra Prima, had come to the district quite some time ago. They wanted to develop a several hundred, 500 home subdivision initially. And so, of course,
costs. And so the first election that the defined area had was an election to affirm the district and give that general bond authority and part bond authority. However, with road bond authority for existing water districts, you have to submit an application to the commission, and in order to do that, you have to have definitive information about the roads that you're going to construct. And in an early development phase, that is just not there yet. So now we submit the application, and to tee up, another election just for the defined area for these roads that will eventually be, given over to the county. That said, the Texas Administrative Code and the Water Code say that if the district that is, requesting these powers from the commission has any part of it in city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, that the district should request consent and obtain that consent from the city. And so that is what I am here for on behalf of the district, to request that consent. I believe I constructed that through an amendment to the consent annexation that you had approved several years ago. So I'm happy to answer any of y'all's questions, or if
No, I was just gonna point out, this doesn't affect any of y'all's credit rating or anything. We're just consenting to their debt issuance. That's it.
right, and that's the other thing that we wanted to emphasize with the defined area concept, in an area that is gonna have this type of development, that's all self-contained. The taxes that defined area will pay, the facilities, that will serve that area, that is all within the district, but the defined area itself, they will bear, the taxes for that district, not anybody, in Brookshire proper, if that, is a factor. Who will be responsible to pay the bond back? The property owners that live within the defined area and only those property owners. Not the citizens of Brookshire. The property, yeah, 'cause
If they're in that area.
This property is not in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city. It's just kind of in between here and, it's up by the high school. I know you guys are all familiar. That's a lot of that's in Patterson's ETJ, and some of it's in Katie's ETJ. They actually, the developer had that property removed from Patterson's ETJ. And so, that is not the issue, but those folks, I can't forecast whether, eventually if they're ever part of the city of Brookshire, but as it stands, they would just be residents and property owners of the water district. If, because the city limits of Brookshire don't. So, I'm just trying to understand, how does this have anything to do with this? Why do we have to give us, why do we?
We have to give consent because it's an RETJ.
It's in our ETJ. I thought it was in Patterson's and Katie's ETJ. Let me clarify, the distinguishment here is, it is not, this land is not in anyone's ETJ, but the actual Texas Administrative Code provision that governs the document submissions requires special purpose districts in this case to ask for permission to a city if it is inside any of them. So we obviously know that the water district is inside the district's inside the city.
Interesting.
And so that's really the issue. I initially didn't think this was an issue, because if the land is not in anybody's ETJ,
Why would we
have to ask? Did y'all get permission from Patterson? They're not in. But they're a city, that surrounds that area as well. But they're not in anyone's ETJ. The reason that we have to ask the city of Brookshire is because the Brookshire Municipal Water District.
Oh,
And the city share boundaries. It is merely, I asked for clarification from the commission before I came from this, because, not that I'm the arbiter of what is common sense, but, it didn't seem consistent. It didn't seem consistent with some of the other policies that they have, and so, they said, hey, the district. I would like to, Ms. Green, do you have any comment?
I don't have any comments. Exactly what they said is, I think this is a process that got skipped because it probably should have happened a little bit sooner. And because, like you said, he wasn't fully aware that the water district needs the city's consent because it's not in the city's ETJ. Yeah.
But the
I probably
district is
wouldn't have
inside the
thought
district.
that would happen
So,
either. It just doesn't make a lot of
the
sense.
district is inside the city.
If I wanted to create a water district,
Yeah.
that wasn't in anybody's.
Exactly.
ETJ, I would have to ask the
So this is basing on the boundaries of the actual district. That's so.
It's the water district is inside.
Okay, I'm just, because when I'm looking at this original agreement, I see that back in 2024, Ms. Molina signed off and Mr. Branch signed off back in 2023. So this is a document, this is something that was done back in 2023, 2024, and it's being brought before council for us to do based on something that's almost a couple of years old now. So I just, two-step process.
They consented to the creation, and now we are consenting to this odd administrative provision that says we have to.
The defined area has been created, and you have consented to the annexation of that land into the district. This part, and the reason it may be confusing, the way I wrote it up, is I wrote it up as an amendment to the consent, because if I had have done this, and as a matter of fact, just by way of example, you know, in the city of Houston, their documents already contain this language. And so in this situation, if I had been, you know, mind that it needed to have been done, it would have been in there in the first place. But because it wasn't in anybody's ETJ, because they had it, you know, removed, I didn't perceive that as necessary. But then the commission said, no, it doesn't matter. The district is acquiring the powers on behalf of the defined area. It's just the district and the city, you know, share
Boundaries.
that you have to ask. So the ask, you know, is
Okay.
to do that. It doesn't have an adverse effect on the city or the citizens of the city of Brookshire or the water district. These roads, you know, will be, you know, designed and constructed and built, you know, for the development of the surrounding areas, and they will be supported by the tax rate from the defined area.
That sounds like a very odd.
Yeah. So,
Well, and that's
it's a lot.
you know, it's a, you know,
Y'all gotta know
you
Elliot
have to
talk.
cross your eyes.
That's Elliot. It's-
So, you're saying that they had the property pulled out of Patterson's ETJ.
So, keep in mind, from what I understand, they own a lot of land.
Right.
They've acquired a lot of land.
Right.
The land that we are discussing here that was annexed into the district,
Uh-huh.
now, a portion of it was, and they had it.
By the school, right?
Now, they have.
So it's technically in the county now.
Well,
Yes,
it's-
yes.
It's just.
It's
an
theirs.
unincorporated
It's
county,
theirs.
no
It's nobody.
They opt out. They opt out of the ETJ,
They
basically.
petitioned to be a
guys,
probably.
Yeah.
and we guys probably heard a lot about legislative
Right.
session before last, with the statute that essentially
Yeah.
allows them to property.
You just remove
People
yourself.
started doing it, and then a lot of
opting
people,
out.
you know, even said, well, do we even have an ability to deliberate over that?
Wow.
I've not finished with my legislative update on this section yet to see how much this stuff has changed.
Okay. Well, I think the question is that the citizens of Brookshire will not have any burden on paying any bond money back. There will be not any tax increases or any detriment on the citizens of Brookshire, right?
Correct.
You concur with that?
Effect on Brookshire.
Zero effect on Brookshire.
Just for those who's gonna be living
We're just
in
the
that
parent.
neighborhood.
In that
apparently,
defined
that needs
area.
to give this district child permission.
Correct. Okay.
For the defined area.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the consent defined area number 1 of the Brookshire Municipal Water District.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Item number 15, discussion and possible action to go out for RFQ for engineering services. I ask for this item to be placed on the agenda. Like to go out for engineering services. I think we may have a little backlog with our current service, current engineering firm, although the performance has improved. But just in case, we need to go out for an RFQ for another company.
So Mayor Richards, on this one, we would pretty much be asking Attorney Olson if he would draw up requests for qualifications, like
Right.
a notice to go out, and it would go out in the paper, posted and so forth. And then it would say whether you want it delivered here, who you want it delivered to, when we open it and discuss.
Right.
Correct, Attorney Olson?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And y'all pick what you think's the most qualified firm, and then you negotiate an agreement after that.
Right.
Just recognize when we do qualifications, we're not talking cost.
We can't say cost.
Just whether or not they're qualified, and then we enter into negotiations. When we pick somebody on the cost. If we can't work out the cost, we start the process over.
Okay.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Making a motion to go ahead and approve legal to start moving forward with the engineering services.
Second.
Request for RFQ.
RFQ.
Request for RFQ.
Thank you.
Taylor. No, that was Taylor.
Taylor. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Item 16. Discussion and possible action for approval of sign variance located at 3905 11th Street. So this particular item, this is the location there on 359 where Domino's Pizza and the new dentist office is located currently at. There was a sign there, originally a business that was gonna be called Touchdown. And so when the new owner went out to ask for a sign to be placed on that spot, our previous engineering firm okayed the new owner to place that sign. It's the same size as the existing sign. So he went out and spent the money and did it. And our existing engineering firm said that sign is not in code. And so it's not obstructing any view, it's facing the street and all that, but I think it will be unfair that we cause this company to spend more money now based on a error that was from our previous engineers. So I asked for this item to be
You're
placed.
talking
for
about the sign that was
Touchdown. It will be a dental sign now. A new dentist office is going in there. And so the sign will be the same size as that sign that's up there right now.
It's gone already. The touchdown.
Is it gone already? Okay.
Talking about the one that was
Yes.
just on- It's gone.
It's gone already. But if you remember the size.
Oh, we were just talking about the sign on the building.
On the building.
Okay.
Yes, on the building.
It's gone. I saw it today.
Yes.
It was on the ground.
Do we have any discussion on that?
No, sir.
No.
Okay.
Just the letters of the whole sign.
There's nothing up there now.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So the one that's on the ground is only 2 foot difference, which
Yeah.
is okay. But it's the one that goes on the building
Mhm.
he's already purchased because he was matching the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Okay.
we need to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the sign variance located at 3905 11th Street.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Item 17, update on Brown Track Development Agreement. Mr. Olson.
So I think y'all have all got an opportunity for the most part to get to know Joseph. He actually sat in on, we had a staff meeting, was it 2 weeks ago? With the IDB group about the Brown Track development. Worked out some kinks there. Aaron Carpenter with Alvin Humphreys sent us a red line version of the development agreement. And Joseph has reviewed that. Did he ever send you the, okay, good.
Yes.
Good, so he and I looked at it, it all seemed to capture the stuff y'all talked about at that meeting, so we're good to go on the development agreement, so there's 2 things that will be on your next meeting agenda. You'll have to discuss and take possible action on this this development, ETJ development agreement with IDV development for the Brown Track, and also a discussion of possible action to adopt a resolution consenting to the creation of a MUD in that district. So I think they're ready to go from the staff level, and they'll be on your second meeting this month for consideration.
I have one thing. I wasn't able to make that last meeting. But one thing that I wanted to, that was my concern, was the traffic flow on 11th Street.
Okay.
And I know they're planning on developing a certain part of 11th Street, but my concern is the rest of 11th Street. And I don't know if that was brought up in the meeting.
I think they asked that it's gonna be complete with the whole, with the.
know if there was ever any direction.
Did they?
It wasn't.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So,
Would you like me to emphasize, you know, hey, look, there's a balance of this 11th Street that's
Yes.
kind of holding the bag, because you're gonna go from this nice improved street to 11th Street is
Yes.
Baghdad.
didn't they say they were gonna approve 11th Street? Somebody asked the last meeting.
Oh.
That's what I said.
But they didn't, they weren't clear. They weren't clear.
It wasn't, that wasn't one of the changes that was supposed to be made?
They still, it wasn't clear.
Wasn't clear.
No.
No, it was not one of the proposed changes,
Oh.
because Joseph changed everything to match the recording. I even looked at it.
Okay.
So, if everybody's in agreement, I will reemphasize that. We have some time between now and the next meeting.
Okay.
To see if they would like to propose something related to 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That would be good.
Yes.
Yeah. I could swear they said they were gonna widen it.
That's all I have.
All right, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. Can I get a motion on the Brown track?
You don't need a
It's just,
motion.
it's just an update.
Just
Okay,
a discussion.
just discussion, okay.
All right now.
All right, number 18. Discussion and possible action to install speed bumps on 4th Street near Franklin and Waller Avenue due to speed increase during high traffic times.
Isn't it stop signs at every corner on that street?
They're not, yeah, but they're not stopping at the stop signs when it's high volume traffic on 359 and 362 at 5 o'clock. They're like literally racing to try to beat the traffic, not going over the track to get to 359.
And running
but
the stop
taking
signs?
4th Street all the way down to go over the tracks by Romo's.
Do we have anyone, I think, do we have anyone here,
I've seen it.
anyone here
Personally.
to,
I've had to get out the road, so I know.
Yeah. But before we move to speed bumps, I would like to ask Chief.
Conduct a traffic study.
No, just not even a traffic study. Just post up out there. The reason why I'm saying that is because we're putting a lot of speed bumps through the city. And the last speed bumps we put on South Street, I think we talked about putting a certain
Yeah.
size speed bump out there.
It's supposed to been wide and,
No,
so they ain't gonna tear up your car.
that did not happen. And it's pretty rough on your car.
Yeah, it is. No matter how slow you go.
Yeah, it's pretty rough on your car. And I traveled, and once again, what we requested wasn't done. And so, and now you're requesting to put another one out there, and I just don't trust that they're going to do what we ask. So, I would much rather, Chief.
If you'd like us to work a traffic assignment?
Yes, sir.
We can do that.
Thank you.
And you want to email me with, what are the times?
Time period,
Evening
yeah.
time
It's
specifically?
the evening time,
Yes.
like after.
Rush hour.
Rush hour.
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
When both, traffic from 362 and 359 are merging together, and you know, it's a little backup past, Royal Storage, waiting to cross for 59 to go to I-10 to go to back to.
It's gonna be worse.
Okay. So,
See, one of
We'll
the,
get it for a couple of weeks,
okay.
hard, and see what we get.
One of the,
I hope nobody, wants to criticize us for taking
Well, if they running the stop sign, you're supposed to.
balance. I can't tell you how to balance it. Hey, but one of the things about those temporary speed bumps, and when you're speeding and you slow down and you hit that rubber bump, then it start to pull it up out of the ground. And if you just go back and look through the city where we've had those bumps there for a long time, they've been pulled up. And if they're speeding down there, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna slow down on that speed bump, that temporary speed bump, and they're gonna yank it up out of the ground. And I think what would help a lot better is even if we put one of those signs like we have on Stella Road that'll post your speed. We even can get some that'll flash. I think they'll flash the lights as a deterrence, rather than putting the speed bumps there.
We'll work it in the morning and the evening.
Oh.
sounds good.
All right, thank you.
They'll probably be
Okay.
going down I would say from 359 to, down, what's that, Depot Street? Is that Depot Street?
Depot.
Depot Street, to get, that, what they're trying to do is get to the railroad tracks in front of Romos to the other part of 359. And they're also doing 4th Street. They don't realize it until
They
they
hit
get
first
congested right
too
there.
though. They hit first and then
Yes.
sometimes they come down. It's like already out.
They go really fast. They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we know.
So let's let the record reflect at the moment, no action been taken.
But
on this.
but, so, Mr. Green, you're telling me those are the wrong speed bumps?
Yes, sir.
Because they,
Yes, they
that's-
are. Yeah, they
I
hard.
have what the council approved. And
Yeah,
what was
they
put
hard.
down is wrong. Okay.
They were supposed to be wider. These are like this and like a mountain.
Do we need to take those, do those need to be removed and done, and redid? I mean,
Yes.
those
I
need to
should
be,
wore down by now.
make a note of that, please.
I'll be up under my truck.
Yeah.
Do we need to remove them?
Yes.
And redo it? Okay. Okay, no, well, we do have action on that. We have, I'll just make sure I don't go to, okay, item number 19. Ms. Dunn, update on the 4th of July celebration.
Good evening. Thank you.
So the first document that you have in front of you is our, 4th of July fireworks. It's a good task with the fireworks. I've been trying to find multiple, fire technicians to post crimes, unfortunately. Most people are, all the people that I reach out to are already booked, so I'm not able to find but the one person that we have been using in the past. We haven't had any issues with them, but we did want different folks, and that's not possible, so. That's the price that I have in front of you. For fireworks. The first part is just gonna be for the fireworks, the second one is their fee to pop the fireworks. They also send me their, certificate of liability insurance, record, and also their fireworks retail permit. The next thing that I have, that we secured also is the entertainment for our 4th of July festival. And the price is there. Yes, sir.
Could you give us the total on the fireworks?
It's on there.
It's on there.
I saw it.
Yeah, but I need it to be announced.
So the total just for the fireworks is $9,649.39. And they charge $1,000 to, so the total is $10,649.39.
And just to note, the reason why and what it was last year and what has happened with this price now.
So the price last year was roughly $8,000, so they did go up more, the explanation was due to tariffs.
There you are.
And also, Ms. Dunn, can you please, just for public knowledge, can you please give them the budget amount for each event?
So,
The reason I'm saying this is because I know some people were asking, you know, okay, why is Cinco de Mayo 2 days? Why is the Juneteenth Festival 3 days? I just want the public to know that each event has a budget amount, and as long as we're within that budget, you can spread it out however you want to, so that's why I'm asking.
so the budget for each, well, not each one, so MLK, Cinco de Mayo,
Juneteenth,
those three have the same budget of
15,000.
And, Christmas and 4th of July have 20,000.
Yes, okay. And the reason those two are more, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. They did it,
She's all over more 20.
no, no.
No, 20.
They, 4th of July was 20,000, Christmas was 20,000 because 4th of July we have to spend more on fireworks, and Christmas, it takes more to spend as well. So they had those two more.
I got a whole paper that say about all in 20, so that's what I'm saying when they come about.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you.
For the 4th of July, just a note that you will have EMS and fire, if this is all approved, EMS and fire truck on scene, right?
Yes.
So that's the next page that you have. I've already reached out to Waller County ESD.
200?
Back in April, they've already made an agreement to be here for us. So that's the next thing you see. And there's her email. That she will be here. And the last thing that we have here is just some pending 4th of July details, just so I can be able to provide you guys with something. Me, Ms. Connor, Ryan Orban, and Ms. Cassandra Rona. We did meet this week just to kind of get the ball rolling for 4th of July, because we are kind of behind the curve. Again, these are just pending. We have something that you guys would like to add to it, from it.
Oh, okay, so it's 2 days.
Yes.
What we have, if you guys,
Oh, that's just in the air.
this is just pending.
Okay.
Just if
They just pending from.
it's just pending.
Oh, it's pending,
I'm
okay.
trying to do two if they wanted to,
Okay.
if the committee wants to do two, because a lot of this stuff don't.
So what do we,
Oh, looks good.
Yeah.
I noticed that there are going to be some free food, popcorn, and some giveaways, so that's always good for the citizens to be able to have access to free as well.
that's nice. That's good.
Y'all better get y'all a team, volleyball. So the days that we
good.
suggested, again, this is still pending, nothing is set in stone. We got Thursday, July 3rd, and we have the actual July 4th, which is on a Friday. Those days work.
Yes.
Thursday,
Thursday,
and Friday.
July 3rd, and Friday, July 4th.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Thursday and a Friday. Again, depending on who all approve.
Oh, that, it is. It's council meeting.
We might reschedule.
Talk about that during the future agenda items. We can talk about that during future agenda items.
Doing what?
We could talk about the meeting date for future agenda items. What I'm talking about tonight, I'm saying like, once we get to future agenda items, we can discuss maybe having the meeting that Tuesday instead of Thursday. I'm just saying, yeah.
You might need to decide that now.
I know, I'm saying, we haven't got there, that's why.
Put it on the agenda if you wanna change, because we're gonna have to also change Juneteenth city council meeting. That Thursday, we're not open on Juneteenth. We're not open. So therefore, we can't have a city council meeting that night. So on the future agenda items, you have to state that you wanna move it to a new date.
Gotcha.
So that's what he said also about the 4th of
Okay.
July.
Right,
We
right.
have to decide.
Getting there, I'm getting there.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion on 4th of July?
No.
Ms. McDade?
Yes.
Okay. Can I,
That's it.
okay, no further discussion. Can I get a motion to accept, we have that cost there?
I
and all
make a
that.
motion to accept the update or the fees and procedures for July 4th celebration.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Okay, item number 20, discussion and possible action on committee appointees and process.
You keep it. No.
8:30, Ms.
don't
Taylor.
know.
8:30.
Good enough.
We rolling.
We are,
Okay.
I have presented you all, emailed you a month ago, and then just followed this week on appointees for, tell me now or give it to me later, so that you all,
They can send them to you.
they can send them to me, okay?
Phone number and email on
And
them.
then I'm gonna get yours set up for you, okay? Tomorrow.
I sent to that email.
But I'm gonna get your city email set up.
Oh, I know, I wasn't even talking about that, I was talking about for this.
No.
See, look
Yeah,
at you.
but with your email, you'll be able to send it.
Yeah.
No, listen to me.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Oh, okay.
We ain't gonna hold this down.
He's so lame.
You told me 8, 9:30, it's on her.
In the packet that I provided you, whether y'all will just, I'm sorry.
Oh, SOP.
Yeah, there's a copy of the SOP in your packet. Again, these are, all this is still pending, if you want to make changes, please let me know. There's a community volunteer application that we, just a FYI, a lot of things, none of these we have on file. So that's why I created these things, so we can, whether I'm here or not, we need something.
Thank you.
So originally, that for festivals and all of that, it was not a standard operating procedure, and we're developing one now. And we've done that from lessons learned and now best practices. And so that's what she's doing. That's why you have the SOP in your packet right now for review.
Any questions, you can email Ms. Dunn, or you can have a sit down with her. She's at the office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
The application is there, release and waiver of liability is there, committee, compensation and conflict of interest is there, term limit is there, city committee code of conduct and ethics is there. These are again that we don't have any record of that I could find, or Ms. Glover, so we just put some stuff together, pulled it from different cities, just kind of seeing how they do things. Definition of the advisory board, flow of process for meetings, these are just things that I came up with, again, they're also, if you guys want to change them, adjust this form, these are just my suggestions.
Sounds good.
Any further discussion?
No, sir.
You finished? You done? Okay. Thank you. All right, there's no action on that one. Moving on, item number 21, update on commemorative bricks. And so, of course, we know that there was commemorative bricks years ago that citizens could purchase, and I have samples of them here. This is one here that has Lockridge, Seth, Twala, Bobby, Junior, Mona on it, right? This one seems to be in pretty good condition, right? So there's 309 bricks that we found in the back of Public Works on the ground out there somewhere. And so some of those bricks are in this condition. They're like this.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so they're not gonna have to be redone, cleaned up and restriped and cleaned up. And so, and then we will have a contract to give us a quote to place them down in a designated spot that we all agreed on in front of City Hall. But I brought this just for discussion, to let you all know what the condition is on these bricks right now. And we'll come back with a quote of what it's gonna take to get them back, if the council please, to get them back to good condition, okay? And also to place them back in the ground. Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all have a list of the people that ordered them,
We can get that.
that recently ordered them?
Are you talking about those 17 bricks that was supposed to have been purchased through the Sesquicentennial?
Yes.
No, ma'am. Do you have a list?
I don't have a list, but I do have a receipt that somebody gave me.
I would like to see it. Could you
I
please
got a
bring that by
receipt.
my office? Thank you. I would graciously appreciate that.
We've been looking for it.
Because we've been looking for that information because we have 17 bricks.
Yeah,
missing.
that's all.
Tony McAnally has.
No, Mr. McAnally says that
He
it was
did
with
have
Public Works. And those are the only ones we have of those right there. We don't have that new 17 set because I do know a lot of people that were on the committee with you stated they purchased bricks as well. And we don't see any of y'all's names over there. We looked for some of the committee members' names and we're unable to locate those.
He was on there.
Okay, so if you would,
I was the first one that sold a brick, and I brought him receipt or whatever. I got it at home somewhere, and, I have to look for it.
When you get a chance, can you please bring that to me?
Yes.
Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you. Yes, ma'am. That was, I think we decided that we would allow citizens to purchase more bricks up until the point that that area gets filled in.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I found several companies that actually do bricks that I could bring to
Thank you.
all to help out with that project of allowing others to order more bricks, so you can decide on which company you would like to use.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to be brought up to speed on the 17 bricks. Okay, explain that to me because y'all like talking.
When the center, when we were doing the sesquicentennial, they, had a piece of paper and you could order a brick, put whatever you want on the brick.
Mm-hmm.
That's in 2023.
But didn't Tony have that information? Yes. That's what I thought.
So they purchased
But
bricks,
the
but we
ci-
can't find
They
them.
purchased.
But the city doesn't have it.
No, the city doesn't have it, but he have it because that's what he was pushing that, he was
Okay.
pushing that with that.
Right.
Yeah, he was
It was
pushing
a-
those
it was
bricks
a
with the.
county- It was a county's event, but
Right.
each city inside the county had to do some type of fundraiser or
Right.
activities to participate.
So
And
that
I
was
think
his
that was what
fundraiser.
y'all, your committee chose to do, correct? And that, as their little contribution to the sesquicentennial, they did the bricks. Approximately 17 bricks were sold.
Okay.
I think that, Ms. Glover, we did see the receipt that the bricks were paid for and ordered or something like that. But we don't have the actual bricks, and we've been contacting the company, and they've said they've been delivered, and Mr. McAnally says that Public Works have them, so where they are, that's what we're on search.
Do you have the
Do
names?
we have a names
Yeah.
that was on the
That's
bricks?
what she said she has.
No names on the receipt?
Because I heard you say you had the receipt, but I was wondering about the names.
She said for the one that she sold.
That I sold one to Athena Clinic.
So that's just the one.
So
she
can we
sold.
do this, Mr. Green? So we have 309 bricks there. And if you can provide us with a list of names, because the reason that we're saying that we don't have them is that these bricks that we do have are in bad condition. They look like they've been placed on the ground already.
Placed on the ground. The new
So I don't know if those were placed on the ground or not. If you can give us the names, we will go through those 309 bricks to make certain for sure that they're not there. And we're saying they're not there based on these being already placed in the ground, okay? And as I understand, those ones that were purchased were not placed in the ground.
She said she just
The
sold
ones,
one.
the names that you have is fine. That'll be fine, because
Yeah,
I have,
just one.
I have some of the other names, and we looked for that particular name. So now if you bring me the names that you have, I can go and try and locate that particular name that you have. But I do know that I don't think they were placed in the ground yet, the new ones. Those were all placed.
Maybe we can put it on the city web, if anybody that has a receipt that was in the 17 group, bring it to the city, and then we can verify the name with the receipt.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
any further discussion on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, no action. Number 22, discuss the possible action to remodel the annex building into an office area. So as I mentioned earlier, the annex building has been cleaned out, and we would like approval to go in and do minor remodeling in there to make it back into a usable office space.
Make a motion that we approve to the remodeling process for the annex building.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will bring a cost estimate back to council before we move forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, I was notified today that the name of the water bill is still in the county's name over at the annex building. That should have been done when
Okay,
it was purchased, and so I just want you to know that I'll be take care of it
okay,
this week.
thank you. 23, discuss some possible action to approve a citywide cleanup. Ms. Corner.
Okay, I'm sure that everyone is familiar with, how the city usually does a citywide cleanup. where we place the dumpsters at Public Works, at City Hall, and the citizens are notified what they can and cannot put in the dumpsters. The dumpsters will be monitored, but we need locations of where we want the roll-offs. We're gonna try to get maybe anywhere from 4 to 6 roll-offs, and I have some suggested weekends. I wanted to do it from like a Thursday to a Sunday, and so Texas Pride, I'll drop them off, and then they'll come back and pick them up on Sunday. In the meantime, Public Works will be monitoring them, smushing them down if need be, making sure that you're not putting the tires and the paint and whatever other things that you're not supposed to be in them, be in them. So they will be places where it's lit and cameras and visible. So I have for the week of June, for June, I have June 26th through the 29th, July 24th through the 27th, or we can do August 28th to September 1st. And then we would get with Texas Pride and tell them which day. I would think that we would like to do it during the summer. A lot of people are cleaning out their house during the summertime. We really need, and throwing away things, cleaning up, so forth. So
July 20.
So July would be
One
better.
of those dates, you said?
June is June 26th through the 29th. July is the 24th through the 27th.
I think July 24th through the 27th.
July would be good. That will also give us time to be able to advertise it as well.
Advertise it, and it will be on the website. We will try to do post it and mail outs. Of course, it'll go on the Facebook page. It'll be a couple different things that we'll make sure that the citizens are aware that they can come place certain things in the dumpsters and so forth, and what they can't place in there.
Okay, sounds good.
I make a motion that we approve the citywide cleanup for July the 24th through the 27th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Item number 24, discussing possible action to purchase a backup generator for emergency management facility at Old Fire Station. So this is on there. I asked this one to go on there. We will need a backup generator for that location, for whatever we want to use it for. So, and that it, of course, we'll bring back a cost estimate before its final approval.
All right, sounds good. I make a motion that we approve to purchase a backup generator for the emergency management facility.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. 2 more items before executive session. Discussion of possible action on disaster preparedness. And so, as Ms. Corner mentioned earlier, we did attend a TDM conference in Fort Worth where we learned a lot of information. Disaster and emergency is #1 priority on my list because we have to make sure that we, in case of emergency, that the citizens of Brookshire are safe. And so we did actually have a training class here, a certification class here for Red Cross. We already have that in place, and the individuals that were in the class have already been trained and certified. We've also trying to get, again, the fire station up and ready. We're trying to get water and freezers with food and all different types of things to store over there for our staff that will be here in case we have a disaster or something. We reached out. The county has a good program in place. I've already met with Brian Camtrell, the fire marshal emergency management person this week. I've also met with Hayden Fundno, Duwala County. So we've partnered with them and making sure that if something happens that we're prepared and ready. Our police department will be on standby as well. And we're also planning to get with the ESD to partner with them in case we have some problems with train derailments for chemicals or things like that, to know whose tracks our trains are on and the process that we need to do to make sure that the citizens are safe. So that's one of our #1 priority right now. Ms. Dunn is also establishing a list of senior citizens that we can reach out to, that if they want to be on the list, that doing it before and doing a disaster, that we will go out and check on them and make sure that they're safe and okay. So all those preparations are going in place right now in this effort to make sure that we do it. We are up on hurricane season right now, so we're on heightened alert. We make sure our fuel tanks are staying full of fuel just in case. So That's our number one priority, to make sure that citizens are safe.
Sounds good.
Just an update on where we at on that right now. No action on that particular item. 26, discussing possible action on the disaster cleanup and recovery agreement. This also has to do with disaster. We would need to hire or go out for a RFP for a company that will pick up debris if we have a disaster. Like, for instance, when Beryl came and all the trees were down, you seen the trucks riding around there picking up debris. Well, it's good to have contracts in place for that before it happens, preparedness. And also, we have to have a monitoring company along with that company, because if we want to go back and get reimbursement from FEMA for picking up all that debris, then that monitoring company is going to be contracted to make sure we know what is being put in those containers. Because if we do not have a monitoring company, we do not qualify for reimbursement. Also, this disaster debris company would collect that debris and properly dispose of it. And as you all remember, when we had Beryl, we took our debris and our trees to the park. And that is definitely against the rules. We cannot go burn that debris in the neighborhood. So that is the reason why we need a company. I would like to get a motion that we go out and get one of these two companies to help us with this.
The requirements for those companies is that they're gonna have to have enough manpower, enough trucks, and they're gonna have to have a disposal area. And so that's what Mayor Richards is speaking of. You can't, TCQ is just not gonna let you burn near people home and at a park. It's just not supposed to be done. It should be a contained area. And most of the time, these companies that have this, they already are
Already have
bonded
their
and
own.
have their own sites that are away from homes and families and areas that could catch fire easily. So
Yeah, I remember when Harvey hit, and we had debris in the community for months. And as fast as they can clean it up, more came out for months. So this is a excellent thing to have in place. I'm all for it. I feel sorry for the company that takes it. Because it's a lot of work. And it even got to the point where I think Republic couldn't even take on any.
because those trash companies, what they're doing is you have to bundle it, you have to cut it, you have to do all of these things
Yeah.
that's necessary. These companies are already prepared for these things. Some of them qualified, they're gonna have the shredders probably already there to shred those trees immediately on site, the trucks and stuff like that. It depends on how they choose to dispose of it.
Now, you're just mentioning trees. I'm talking about
Right.
Debris.
There's
All
debris.
debris.
Right.
everything.
Debris.
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. This is
Okay.
for everything. And of course, Katie, I think they currently have a company. We can co-op or partner with them. Also, Brian Cantrell, he sent me a sample RFQ that they have. So, can I get a motion?
Make a motion that we approve to go ahead and go out for bids for a disaster cleanup and recovery agreement
And monitoring.
and monitoring.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. All right. Executive session. The city council will meet in closed session pursuant to Title 5, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code for the purpose of consultation with the legal counsel, Section 551-071. The council will convene an executive session pursuant to Section 551-074 of the Texas Government Code to consider personnel issues, duties of public officials, officers, and employees, city secretary, police chief, public works director, municipal courts clerk. And the time is 8:50.
And there are tea cakes in that bucket back there if anybody wants tea cakes. that? Court. Ms. Dunn said she want her name there.
Okay.
Order court.
Okay, we're back. Discussion and consideration, consider actions resulting from executive session. The time is 9:43. There's no action. Future agenda items. Mr. Green. Ms. Taylor?
I have two. I would like the property owner that was at 3126 to come back and talk with, to see what's going on, why she can't, like, put on her for the agenda. Yeah,
Oh, with LJ?
yeah, LJ, both of them to come back and discuss that. And then, to remove the South Street bumps, speed bumps. That's it. To make a motion to, me.
We'll remove now, but, you know, we'll have to order. But yeah.
So does that need to be on the agenda or?
Well, she can put it on me. We'll do it anyway. It'll be done by the time she get.
Well, y'all are gonna wanna talk
Yeah.
about replacement.
Right.
So they can
Okay.
be a replacement too.
Mr. Stamps?
Move and replace.
Okay.
I was gonna put them both on there.
Yeah.
All right. I have a few. Approved 2024-2025 budget. Quarterly meeting with City of Brookshire, Brookshire Municipal Water District, and Brookshire Katy Drainage District. Also, to set our council meeting for June 17th, Tuesday, June 17th, and also Tuesday, July the 1st, due to holidays. And lastly, to discuss our Public Works Director / Administrator position.
Do I get to do future agenda items too? All right. I wanna make sure.
No, you don't.
Okay,
I
I
need
have
more.
a few. I have some too. I want to, discussion and possible action for, Encode RFP. Discussion and possible action for, to purchase a generator for the Annex building.
I hate that one on this.
Discussion and possible action for, go out for grant administrator, RFP for grant administration company. And discussion and possible action for, discuss the iPod homes. Okay, Ms. McDade.
Yes, I have one at this time. Discussion and possible action regarding the potential purchase of property for the development of a food truck park within the city. That's it.
That's it? All right.
Food
Yeah.
truck park.
By time.
Will the EDC purchase
It's
it?
about time.
Okay, so I have community announcements. You have anything?
No,
I
sir.
have one. We have updated our phone system here at the Brookshire PD and City Hall, that the phones will always be answered now. They will go to a person now. Is that correct? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
At both locations. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay. And that's all I have.
What?
Alrighty.
10 o'clock.
Next item is adjournment. Adjournment.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.
Opposed?